Okay, well, saying everyone can see and hear you.
We are live.
So should we just stand here and smile creepily at people and see how long they can take it?
No.
Boo.
No.
That would be fun.
No.
But
Nobody,
fun, Nikki.
nobody likes that. Okay, I don't like that. I think it's creepy too. Hi, everyone. You know what night it is. I don't know what night it is, but I'm hoping someone out there will. Wait, it's Wednesday. It's time for Left Unsupervised.
Yes. I'm Diana Rachel. I'm author of Urban Magic, A Guide for the City Witch, and the now available for pre-order hex twisting counter magic spells for the irritated witch. So I will be dropping that link in our comments feed for people that want to see it. And please pre-order. This is one of the single best ways you can support your authors. So we can keep writing more dubious things to put out into the intellectual and not so intellectual sphere.
Very good, very good. All right. Well, it's been a week. It has felt like a long week, but it has been a week. Oh, Lauren is watching us. She says hi.
Hi, Lauren.
Just so we can all say hi from Lauren, because I'm sure that that's exactly how she said it.
And she's not in the public comments, so you're going to have to. But yes, well, she was waiting to pounce, right? We totally know you were waiting to pounce, Lauren.
Hold on, let me copy your link address. I am actually going to put this. Let's see. Let's go back to comments here. Technical difficulties for Golden Apple Metaphysical. What
is something going on our Facebook page, or what's the deal? Okay, no, we're up there. I'm seeing the live. I'm not going to push the button on the live, but I'm seeing the live. So, oh, is it frozen? Okay. Apparently it is slightly frozen, according. No? Okay. I don't know what's going on then. It is Nikki? It's looking like Nikki may have frozen. Mm-hmm. Oh dear. So, well, Nikki is frozen or is doing a really good impression of the robot. Hi. There's a lot of things that we have going on with Golden Apple tonight, and I'm going to kind of shift my screen away from my partner's video game. So I think they're playing Warframe right now. And I'm kind of just in a really awkward spot in the house because I just could not stand being in my office anymore today. But this weekend is Witchcon, which is a huge internet witchcraft conference hosted by the Hexfest team in Salem and New Orleans. And it is 100 witches of all kinds of traditions, many of whom do not even politically agree with each other, teaching you all about some damn fucking good magic. And I have gotten the unique privilege to be one of the people that is on there. I am going to be one of the featured presenters, not featured presenters, one of the presenters, like there's 100 featured presenters, brain. And I am teaching my class on invisibility work for immigrants and activists. I am super excited about doing this. I am so super excited about some of the people presenting there. And I was going through and just drooling over this extremely long list of amazing people. My friend Kat Thagard is going to be teaching about integrative witchcraft across traditions. I know Lilith Dorsey is teaching something related to hoodoo. I think a hoodoo house blessing was what I saw. Elohim Lafar, who's just like this love bug, human love bug. If you ever follow his stuff on Instagram or Facebook, amazing. He goes by Urban Shaman, and of course, as an urban witch, that is near and dear to my heart. Are you back? Are you done playing? Are you done doing a creepy imitation of the robot?
My computer totally crashed.
Oh crap!
Yeah. So okay. I was able to look on my phone though and see that we were still on, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yay.
I worked in radio. I know how to ad lib.
Well, good.
Yes.
Thank God one of us does.
I may be ad libbing through brain fog, but I am ad libbing.
So
right, well, I was telling
to that.
Yeah, I was talking up folks about Witchcon. If you are able to go, I believe there are still a few tickets left. It's $95 for the entire weekend, and that starts, there's an opening ritual Friday night, and then it's all of Saturday and Sunday, and that includes vending space that you do from the comfort of your own home. Anything that you're not able to make it to, because there's several classes simultaneously, is going to be available to people that go in an on-demand library. So that alone is worth the price of the tickets because, for example, I don't want to miss Laurie Cabot, but there's 4 other things at the same time that I also want to see. And this is some of the most unique, best, and brightest witches out there, and you want to see it. This is unique stuff. This is not the usual beginner track stuff. This is the things that we all say we've been starving for, and it is being served to us on a beautiful platter. So this is my nerd, and I am actually like super enthusiastic and fangirling over the people at this event because there's so much shit I want to learn.
There are so many, just so many fantastic presenters there. I was talking in our group earlier, Anwyn Avalon is going to be there. Fantastic water witch. I was able to take one of her classes at the last PantheaCon, and I really, really enjoyed myself. I learned quite a bit, and I bought her book, which, if you know me, like, I don't have a lot of time to read a book, and I'll only buy a book if I'm going to read it. So that's pretty, that says something about the book.
Yeah, and I do want to give a shout out to that they're new for this kind of presentation. I know they just started getting into teaching publicly more last year. Sean Marie and Kelly Jeffrey, who run the Swamp and Conjure forum, and Own Inexplicable Things are going to be teaching, and they are just some badass practitioners. I have advanced my practice so much just by hanging out in their Facebook group, even if I don't always participate, learning just the different ways to think about magic. And as those of all you who are familiar with me know, that I tend to think of magic as a thought process first and foremost, rather than any system of tradition or formulas. Mm-hmm. So, and holy crap, their thought processes are phenomenal.
Yeah, they are pretty awesome. Sorry, while you were talking, I was trying to catch up with the stuff that I was doing when the computer crashed. Okay, on Facebook, it's not showing up, I don't think. Nope, it is. It's on Facebook and on YouTube. I have the link for your book as well.
Yay! Oh, okay, and I can't ask for it. I also I managed to get a hold of a copy of my Samhain book in French today. So I'm super, super excited about that and waiting for if anyone out there has my Maven and Samhain books in Polish, I really want them in Polish. I'm Polish American, and I don't have the Polish copies.
Nice.
So if anybody has them, please.
I don't know all the presenters at Witchcon, but there is, I know at Hexfest there's a lot of hoodoo and conjure, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mama Star Cassis is a regular there. Son Elias is a regular there. Mm. But there's a lot. It's a really...
So looking at the presenters, for Witchcon, is there an equal, a kind of proportionate percentage as you would see it like a Hexfest?
Looking through it, mm-hmm. Because Hexfest does tend to be a little bit conjure and hoodoo heavy because that's what New Orleans is. That's Absolutely. What it has. They have the historic voodoo museum, at least they did, and they have the modern voodoo museum, which is a temple, basically.
Oh, nice.
So you walk in and it's all of these different altars to all of these different loa that are part of the New Orleans voodoo tradition. And it is always staffed by a genuine voodoo priestess who will sit down and talk to you about what the difference between voodoo and hoodoo is. And we'll talk to you about what it, if you decide that you want to be a voodoo saint or you feel called, more specifically feel called for it, you can't just decide to do this. Yeah. If you are not called, they will not have you. But if you feel called is, okay, here's what is necessary for that to happen, which is usually a lot more work than most people want to do. So the ones that do it are serious.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited because you know me, been in California my whole life. I don't travel much. I traveled to Minneapolis with you for PaganaCon, mm-hmm. Which is another convention that you're in, hopefully this month.
Hopefully.
But this will be my first trip to that part of the country. And I'm really excited because, hoodoo and conjure is something that I'm interested in. I have that, kind of that fear of it because it seems so intense to me. I don't know if fear is the right word, but I'm trepidatious about it because, that's some heavy stuff,
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to, later in the year, hopefully getting out there and just really soaking it up and seeing
Yeah.
if it's a path that I'm truly called for.
Yeah. I know. I think it's worth looking. I know for me, the first type of witchcraft I was called to, and it was so strange because I was not looking for it, was brujeria.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I know, I do not have any Latin blood. I do have some French ancestry somewhere, but that is not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But brujeria and that particular approach is what spoke to me first. So for me, most folk magics I'm realizing it's because a lot of them are inherently animistic, and I'm Polish. We are inherently animistic. So it's there's these people and these histories, but the land has had to put up with all of us. And I think that, and as a city priestess, this is kind of a next generation of animistic spirits. I've been thinking about why does it work this way for me? And I mean, one, it is I take everything seriously until I know where it's okay to joke about it, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. And then when
Yeah.
we do joke about it, we're completely irreverent about it. And
Oh yeah. But
just
it's an
pretty much
earned
say what we
reference.
want. Yeah.
It's an earned reference. Think about the shit that I say to Belial all the time now.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're kind of out there when we say some stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about just the trepidation I feel about hoodoo and conjure. Like it just seems like such an intense path, and it started me thinking about our topic tonight:
Mm-hmm.
the excuses we make for not doing magic.
Yes. And this has been a rant I've had since way before cultural appropriation has expanded as the conversation it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I had some conversations today about some of this because I teach the artist's way. The artist's way is about creativity and about confronting your excuses for not creating. Magic is a creative process. So my favorite one when I first started practicing, because 90s baby witch, I was a baby witch in the 90s, was but that might harm someone. If I take that parking space, what if somebody loses their job if I use magic to get that parking space?
Oh gosh, I never thought about it along that lines, but I will admit, because the other thing I've been doing this week, obviously, has been doing little retro flashbacks from 30 years ago. For those of you that don't know, Monday was my birthday, and so I did a lot of thinking about. No, please don't sing. And thinking about the type of witch that I was 30 years ago when I was 16. So when I was 16, I was about 3 years into my journey. And I was totally different. And the excuses that I had back then for not doing magic were different. I didn't know how to do a ritual. But I've gone through it and I just kind of figured out, you know what, doing rituals really aren't my bag.
See,
I learned to work without them.
I kind of snuck up on myself with it because I was very, very Christian. I was devout Christian. Like, I didn't realize Jesus wasn't supposed to talk back without a shit ton of wine and ergot poisoning. And, I remember, like, I wanted a bike. And for all I know, Jesus told me to do it. I honestly do not remember what spirit told me to do it, but I buried an apple seed and wished for a bike. And my dad was a little bit of a gambler and happened to win just enough money in the lotto to get me that new bike that I wanted.
Wow.
And, like, that's what he did, is he got me my first 10-speed.
Manifestation.
And yeah, and I remember, like, I kind of knew that the Bible had energy, and I was, like, using Good News Bible, which is the most milquetoast of energetic biblical resources you could use. Everything is so dialed down. Like, you almost think God is cuddly when he's, like, laying waste to the lands. I mean,
Oh my God.
The pillar of salt incident could just be a Whole Foods commercial for all I know. But, like, from the Good News interpretation. But I remember, because my mom, for some insane reason, got some sheepskin rugs and put them in my room. I don't know what the hell she was thinking, because I'm hell on furniture and every object around me. And that has not changed since as I've gotten into adulthood. But I went through this phase as a teenager of right before I went to bed, I would sit in the sheepskin rug and pray from the Psalms. And occasionally there would be a prayer that my sister would shut the fuck up or find somewhere else to sleep that night so I could get some damn sleep, because bedroom with no walls, believe me, there was some praying of invectives towards my sister, usually of the just get the fuck away from me type. But I noticed that I would start to feel vibrations as I did that. And of course, later on, after I did start practicing Wicca and then other kinds of witchcraft and started looking into conjure and hoodoo, because I got interested in it when I was doing my book reviews for Facing North, and understanding both the connection to slavery for the Irish and for African Americans, and looking at how those two communities got manipulated into dividing and going against each other. But also looking into, okay, this was some straight up for survival magic. And I'm looking at the survival magic, and I'm one of those nerds that actually read The Golden Bough. So The Golden Bough is this probably more than slightly racist, probably poorly executed anthropological work from the late 19th century, where this guy went around and observed the magic of every tribe that would let him do it and found a shit ton of parallel practices. And he was pulling from Europe and Africa and South America and was looking for the way they practiced the same way. Oh, and I'm just seeing that Lauren said my hair looks great. So much better than earlier, right? Thank you. And so, and I was looking at this going, there's a baseline here. And I was looking at the baseline. I was also looking at the baseline is that a lot of the earliest magics that this guy wrote about, well, as far as we can tell in early history, it was for crops and the weather. Well, those are the things you have the least control over. So you use magic to try to get a handle on the things you have the least control over. And then over here, these people, both the Irish and the African Americans, are dealing with indentured servitude and straight up slavery. And, the making slavery exclusive to Black people didn't become a thing until a little bit later into it. It was basically anybody they could grab and torture into it. And yeah, like, holy crap, the Holocaust got nothing on them. But what they did is they were pulling from their ancestral practices, both the Irish and the slaves, the African-American slaves, were pulling from their ancestral practices, but they didn't have the same stuff. So they were figuring out the equivalents in where they'd been forced to go. And they were using it in ways that, of course, from the Wicca era, like I very clearly remember my early Wiccan studies talking about, oh no, hoodoo is evil. They do bad things. Well, of course they fucking did bad things. I'd try to kill the master too, especially if he decided to chain me to a wall and whip me every night. And that was one of the milder things that happened. So, I started to understand, oh shit, magic is for survival. And that has always been its baseline. But what we need for survival has shifted as we have more room to explore the other things on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. There's a difference between I need to get laid or I'm going to die, or I need to kill this guy or I'm going to die.
Mm-hmm. See, we started to go out far afield, but now I feel like we're circling back into the topic.
Yes, I have a point. I do have a point. Apologies for the mini lecture. This is something we know I do.
We do.
But it came to this rethinking of, okay, there's always a reason for these magics. There's always a place for everything. And it may not be, and if you genuinely take the place that I thought Wicca, I realized that Wicca does not actually have this mindset. I thought it did. I think I was being naive and seeing something I wanted to see when I first started practicing. But if you genuinely tolerate other religions and practices, that means you're willing to live with some things you don't like. Because it's their thing, and as long as you know that it's like that, there's the boundary, is if it's not harming you or you understand why they're doing it, okay. They don't have harm none. I do have harm none. That's their morality, and I don't need to force mine. But it can turn into the, it was a kind of virtue signaling, is the I am being so considerate and thinking of everyone I might affect, and it was kind of an egoic thing. And I finally explain to someone, okay, harm none. Yeah, metaphorically, it's nice. It is thinking about how you treat people and thinking about what impact you're going to have. And yeah, anytime you do any heavy spell work, you should look at the potential impact, because if the spell goes awry, or even if it works too well, you're going to want to know what kickback you're looking for. But you set your foot in the ground, you're going to kill a damn amoeba no matter what. So you're harming something just by existing.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in right here, and I'm going to say, we know that not all Wiccans are like that.
Yeah.
So there are portions of Wicca or Wiccans that are like that, but we know that not everyone is.
I've kind of seen them, in my opinion, I've kind of seen that go to the wayside since 2000s. So there's not a lot of that left, and there's a few of them that still under that, and they're usually new at it and are just processing the new ideas and haven't really gotten into a lineage tradition or any specific training yet. And they'll get confused and think that all of witchcraft is the same thing and accidentally get eaten alive, and people are mean on the internet, and I feel bad for them, but it's not what it was. And I feel like the cultural appropriation has replaced the harm none as the reason not to do things.
And there we circle back. The train is back at the station.
The train is back at the station, and I can call back to my wandering train about the parallel practices.
So what you're talking about, just in a nutshell, is one of the excuses that people use is cultural appropriation, believing that because I'm a certain culture or race, that I cannot do the magics of another path because that's not my quote unquote ancestral magic.
Or they're assuming that a lot of things are closed practices that are not, that are folk magic. So, for example, puppet magic is very close to universal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's almost everything we do is really representational magic.
You know, and ironically, the one place, because voodoo is a religion and it's a very spirit work centered religion, that is the one place where I've never actually seen anybody use a puppet. In hoodoo, yes. I have never seen a voodoo doll actually used in voodoo. I may not. Now, there are friends of ours that watch this that practice voodoo, so please correct me, but I have never seen a voodoo doll actually used in voodoo.
But I mean, even you know yourself, we don't know what happens behind closed doors.
No, we don't. And we don't need to.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. So that's one reason that one excuse that people give that as a reason not to use magic. Another good one, and I know that I've used this myself, is I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to prepare for the equinox because I just have so much going on. I can't, I can't get all this stuff together to have this big elaborate ritual. Well, you know what? It doesn't have to be big or elaborate. It doesn't even have to be a ritual. It's just you connecting with whatever higher power you're connecting with.
Yeah. Also, and there are times whether you're too busy or you're depressed, or, I mean, the year after my first divorce, before that, I hit every Espat, I hit every Sabbath. I had something every day. And like in the year after I divorced my first husband, I remember like sitting outside at a coffee shop looking up going, oh, that's a full moon. Huh. And you go through phases. Nobody's taking attendance. You get back to it and you get back to it, or you take a minute and go, okay, my magic right now can just be appreciating the full moon. This can be my spiritual connection. I will open to a conversation now since, hey, the moon got my attention. So, or I don't have
a excuse. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a lot of people have the Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs by Scott Cunningham as a beginner book. And he was so kind as to list a bunch of substitutions. And he was one of the ones that made it very easy to read all the planetary correspondences. And the reason he did it that way is so you can find the substitutions. So if you don't have lavender, dill could probably do fine.
Yeah. As for creating things, we had this conversation last week about, we were talking about creating products for Witchcon. And I decided to take one of our spell kits, because I'm creating candles right now. I decided to take one of our kits off. We'll still carry the spell kits in the full line, but I'm making candles as well. I decided not to do lust candles because I don't know how people will use them.
Really?
I mean, I do know how people use them, but with the kit that I make, it's very specifically noted that it's
Mhm.
designed for couples. It's designed for people
Ah,
that are together, and it's designed to rekindle that spark of
mhm.
intimacy in your existing relationships. This is not
Mm.
designed to help you get laid.
Well, sort of, but
Well, but
yeah.
that's not going to the bar and meeting some hookup.
Yeah.
It's not designed for hookups. It's designed for couples that are losing the spark of intimacy and need to find it again. Um, and that, yes, we'll put the energies out there, but there's also work that you have to be doing. You have to find the intimacy in your relationship that's not physical.
That's
So that there's a specific outline. And if people deviate from that, all of the specific outline is still within the ingredients of the spell.
yeah.
Yeah, I can do that for the candle too, I know. But I chose not to do that candle that's my excuse, because
Mhm.
I don't know how people will take it, how people will use it.
And that comes to another conversation we'll have to have at some point about, and how much responsibility can you take for how somebody else uses what you put out there?
It's a
This is the
tough road
thing.
to
Like,
hoe.
everything is a double-edged sword. So even the most seemingly innocuous of spells can be used in a nasty way if you're devious enough, or if
Mhm,
you time it just right.
mhm. But let's
And
not talk about it online, because we're not giving anybody any ideas.
yeah, I think I've been through enough of our. I when it comes to the magical stuff and all the ways it can be turned on you, I'm fucking buff, but there is always one more damn thing.
Yeah. I think the whole point of this topic, though, is for people to realize that there are genuinely times that you just don't have the spoons to do your magic.
Yeah,
And right now in this pandemic, like, that's probably happening more often than not. And you
yeah.
shouldn't beat yourself up about it. It's just, it is what it is. And the difference is knowing what's genuinely just an excuse
Hmm.
and what's the reality of your energy levels.
And I would like to make a suggestion. It's an aside from our topic, but if you're not feeling your magic, if you can just go and like take a picnic blanket and lay out in the ground somewhere when it's warm enough to do so, and just do that every couple of days, if that's all you can do, that's going to be magic enough, and it's going to give you an energy exchange you need.
Mhm.
And you can do that city, country, wherever, find a public park, and just douse yourself in vinegar so everyone wants to stay away from you, so you can maintain social distancing if you need to. But play really loud Bob Marley. I don't know, but something that makes people want to go, okay, I'm just going to give you your space. Maybe Evanescence would be better for give me your space music, but
Yeah, people might come around for Bob Marley.
that's fair. Yeah. Evanescence, though, it would be, you're having an intense day.
I don't know. I'd be more likely to come around if they were playing Evanescence.
Yeah, but would you come and offer a random hug, or would you just like stay there and appreciate the music?
Um, I don't usually touch strangers.
Eh, I mean, I have been training
I
the kids
mean,
by waking them up with Barbie Girl, but
I mean, maybe, but that's always in certain parameters.
fair.
Um, so it's just, what are some other good excuses to the people out there watching? What are some excuses that you have heard or may use? I mean, I think now's the time. It's a good time to be transparent.
So, well, we're waiting for someone to speak up. It's in that arena is someone else has to buy your tarot cards for you. No, they don't.
Oh
They
my
work
God,
just
no, they
fine.
don't.
Yeah, that no, just no. I'm not crazy when other people use my decks to read without permission. I don't love that, and my tarot decks don't love that either. But no,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a tarot deck purchased for me, and they all seem to work just fine.
I've had some purchased for me, but my first one was the Lover's Tarot, which was nothing but major arcana.
Mhm.
And I never had a problem reading for it. I used that to earn money for beer in college. It helped me have empathy for the stupid frat boys, because I'm like, oh, you all have daddy issues and you're gay. But I didn't tell him that. He needed to find that one out on his own.
Right.
But
Wow.
so
Okay,
So apparently people are feeling shy tonight.
Yeah, we have 7 viewers.
So
So
hi.
yeah, hi, welcome to the show.
Oh, there is the one. I think magic is against God. Well, that depends on the type of magic you're practicing, because some of some in if you're using Kabbalah or something, the magic is made of God.
Yeah, but I don't know many practitioners that use that as an excuse.
I have heard that early on. This was the 90s one. This was the
Okay,
90s one.
let's keep it in this millennia.
I am tired and my memory isn't working so good, so you're gonna have to bear with me. People don't really make excuses to me. They usually hire me now because they're like, okay, I'm done making excuses. Let's get started now.
It's hysterical. Well,
So
okay, if you're not a superhuman like Diana and are just a regular, mere, close to mortal like the rest of us, and you have an excuse, feel share it, or comments, questions. Lauren, I know you have excuses, and I know you're still watching. Come on, girl.
I have heard I don't have the space. And or how about guilt as an excuse? Yes. Yeah. So Jennifer, if you want to elaborate in the kinds of guilt, because I think there's a bunch of different versions.
Yeah, because I don't understand that concept.
So some of it's the Catholic or Christianized hangover guilt. That is still very much a thing that comes up.
Okay, fair enough.
And or my parents will object. I hear that one a lot. I really worry if my mom found out what she would think. And this is like
my mom.
Yeah.
My mom was like, "You still believe in God, though, don't you?" And I was like, "Sure, Mom, just, more than one."
Yeah, I'm not going to repeat the conversation I had with my mother because it was just ugly. But it was mostly, she wanted me to join the cult of her, and I went and joined a different cult.
Okay.
So, let's see here. There were some. Yeah,
I don't have the training.
I don't have the training. I'm worried I'm going to do it wrong. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, if you practice magic, at some point, you're going to do something wrong.
Or someone's going to tell you you're doing it wrong. Even if it worked just fine for you, they're going to tell you, oh, that won't work.
Oh, yeah.
How many times have we heard that?
Oh, my God. I've heard that about things that aren't even magical that just involve the pagan community. Like, there was one woman where I do not understand what her whole thing was, but I was a volunteer organizer. I was a fucking good volunteer organizer. I got 100 volunteers to show up for their shifts on time and leave fed and happy. And after this, I was talking about it. It's like, oh no, it's like herding cats. Nobody could do that. And I'm like, bitch, I just did it.
Okay, here's Jennifer's comment. It had, I had an experience where the results were pretty drastic. I felt guilt continuing with the magic.
Yeah. And that is the thing, is sometimes the results are drastic. It's something you learn as you go. You do have to keep in mind in some situations it may be that drasticness was needed.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the thing, is it may be needed, but we may not be ready to accept that. And that can make things more difficult too.
Yeah. Or here's another good excuse. I tried and it failed.
Yeah, so you figure out what you did wrong and try again.
Or you understand that the magic that you were doing wasn't supposed to happen for you. When my first husband left, I did, I can't remember the name of the candle magic book I was using, but it was a candle magic to bring back a lost.
So it's a reconciliation spell?
Yes. And I did it the prescribed time, and I kept doing it. Like, I did everything. Mm-hmm. And it was right after my first husband left, and he didn't come back. And it wasn't till, afterthought, hindsight is 2020, that I realized that the reason he didn't come back was because we weren't supposed to be together, and that I had another path to go down in my life.
For me, I'm not, it's, ironically, one of the first spells that I really sat down and did was a reconciliation spell on an ex-boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much how I found out I was gay. And what happened instead is we still ended up being part of the same social group, but I ended up becoming really close to his boyfriend. So I stole his boyfriend. That was the result of my reconciliation spell is I stole my gay boyfriend's boyfriend. I regret nothing.
You know, I try not to regret anything, just period. You know, so let's just kind of roll through when we have these excuses, like, how do we get back on the train? Like, we've fallen off the horse. How do we get back on? Just do it.
So what I will tell people, especially when it's like spell failure, is get a reading, figure out why it failed. If you're approaching this as a learning path, and most people do, not everyone. Some people are just in it to get what they want out of it, and they get off the train. I would recommend
why it doesn't work.
Yeah, and I would recommend if you're going to do that, just hire somebody else, because you're going to open some doors you can't shut if you try doing it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are in it and you really want to learn it, you need to learn about doing readings for obstacles, doing that you have to do continuous work to self-understanding and shadow work. It is a never-ending thing. You know, because there's always going to be some part of you that is either being narcissistic while appearing altruistic. Like the hidden narcissism of the empath is the I can heal them. That's actually narcissism, not altruism. And this is something that I've been going through with my own shadow work and working through my shit. But it's also the other stuff may be in the way. You know, like the time that there was somebody that was all hung up on, and I found out that, hey, there was a partner that had been hidden from me. And I found out that first in a reading that Jennifer gave me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so looking for those things, looking for those obstacles, or this person has serious depression, you're not going to get around clinical depression. Yeah. You're just not. You cannot overcome that. And I have yet to find magic that can reshape somebody's brain. And I have been asked to. And I have not found anything that could be used. And even if I did, that is some delicate work. Can you imagine the potential consequences there?
Yes, actually.
Yeah. So it's, you know, once you get to a certain level, you do have to start thinking about it, because if everything is part of the material world, even the energy we move around is. But that's... Sorry, I'm getting super meta in my own brain today. This is what happens when I've only had one cup of coffee for the entire day. Actually, I don't think I had any coffee today, so this is part of the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you haven't had any coffee when I talked to you this morning. You only had a cup of tea.
Yeah, tea's not going to cut it for me. There's a reason I need a coffee maker in the office. But yeah, there are certain levels where, especially with magical failure, that's an opportunity to learn. When magic works a little too well, it's an opportunity to learn. I know there's a lot of people who go, the more power I put into my spell, the better. The tool time approach to magic is really not necessary. You need to figure out the exact right amount of magic to put in, the right amount of energy. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the unconscious obstacles we create to mess up our own magic. Yes. That's a big one. That's when we all do to ourselves in some ways, whether it's believing we deserve it or feeling guilty about what we want. That's a big one. That's how I get in my own way the most of the time. You know, well, I'm feeling less guilty about wanting nice things.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of things that we can do to be our own worst enemy. Let's be honest. But if you are in a place where you're feeling bad because you have been using excuses and falling off of your magical practice, first thing, don't beat yourself up about it. For the most part, I think you're all human out there. For the most part,
more or less,
and you're only human, really. Mm-hmm. Right now, I think overall, the general mood of the country and the world is, shit.
Pretty much, yes.
And so don't beat yourself up about it. If you want to get back, well, first of all, if you need to take that break, take that break. Whatever deity that you work with is not going to come down on you for taking care of yourself. If they are a deity that you are supposed to be working with and genuinely have that connection with, they're going to want you to take that time if that's what you need.
And if there's something shaking you and bugging you and going now, when you're sick, when you're exhausted, whatever, assume it's not a deity, assume it's a spirit, and tell it to knock that shit off.
Don't assume it's a demon, because it's probably not.
No, if you have a demon problem, you ultimately have a human problem.
Then after you've taken that time and you feel like you want to get back into it again, don't prepare a banquet. Dude, make a snack. Do something little.
I'm an idiot who decided to make lemon curd the day I got out of quarantine after COVID. Don't do that.
Yeah, that was
He's
dumb.
back in.
How about you buy a lemon curd?
That would have been the smart thing to do, but I had a fridge full of lemons and I was not exactly rational wanting to do something that made me feel productive.
Squeeze out all the juice, freeze it, and throw the peels at someone you don't like. It's very cathartic.
Banana peels are better.
Banana peels are dumb. They don't hurt. Unless you slip and fall and crack your head open, because that's funny.
Well, that's what I was going for.
Yeah, but if you throw even half a lemon peel, you squeezed out the juice, it's still the hard shell. I digress. Anyway, let's see, what is this? Who is this? Hell, I can't always do a whole floor wash, but I will spray it on. Oh, she'll spray her Swiffer with the Florida water. There you go.
Oh, no, I do that too. I will do that too, or I will wet my floor with floor washes. I will just either actually just get a spray bottle, like an empty Windex bottle, and just spray the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or like I used to call it pray and spray. I would do the blessed water and just spray it in the ceiling so it would get the whole room.
If you've been ill, burn some incense, lay down and relax. If you can meditate, great. If all you can do is just sit there in silence and even fall asleep, I may do this myself very often. It's what you need. You know, give your body, give your whole self the healing that it needs first. And then you can start going into little things. Have a conversation with your deity. Hey, it's me. I'm still here. I'm still looking up to it.
Yeah, if you fall asleep during meditation, you need the sleep. Just take the nap. And I say that as someone who has grinned in the face of Zen meditation teachers that have yelled at me for falling asleep during their meditation.
And she tells me that all the time.
Because you need more damn sleep.
Who needs sleep? What's that? Actually, since this whole pandemic has started, I'm sleeping more. And now I don't function well without a lot of sleep. It's not good. It is not good. We're going to open that damn bar back up soon.
Yeah, because you miss being up till 4 a.m. and staggering home.
Being up till 4 a.m, getting back up at 6 with my friend. My little friend, the Red Bull, who's partnering tonight with his friend, Jameson.
This is her actual drink of choice when we have a girls' night out too.
That's right. It's a trash drink and I like it. If you don't like it,
it's actually really effective. It tastes pretty good, actually. You know, I'm fussy because I do the sugar-free thing as much as I can, but
I don't like the sugar-free one. I mean, I don't like it with whiskey. It tastes different.
So the meadery that my office is in has a tap room open now, and I had a lavender beer tonight that was phenomenal.
Oh, I just think of mead, and all I can think of is it's honey. It's made from honey. Do you know what movie that's from? No.
Nope.
It's from the 13th Warrior.
I need to rewatch that.
If you haven't seen that movie, buy it, rent it, watch it. It's hilarious. Trash drink for trashy women. There ain't no shame in my game, Lauren. What? I can trash with the best of them.
I am just missing the bartender who would make me the best Sazeracs. I miss my Sazeracs.
Was that at my bar?
Yeah, there was the one guy. I think it was like the one straight guy that worked the bar.
We actually have several straight men that work at my bar. Don't get twisted.
Yeah,
I don't think we have. I think we have equal. Lauren? Do we have equal number of straight?
Okay, and Nikki froze again. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you froze again for a second. So, but hopefully.
Anyway, they're not all gay at my bar. We have straight bartenders too, and it doesn't matter because everybody that comes into our bar, for the most part, pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're thinking of yourself there, aren't you? But
no, I was thinking about my community. There is pretty incredible.
It's a fun group. I always have a good time every time I go.
And Caitlin says, 13th Warrior is an awesome movie.
I do need to rewatch that. It has been a while.
Mhm.
And we have a movie night coming up with the kids, so that I don't know. It might be a little bit much for one of them, but we'll see. We've been kind of sticking with the Disney classics, although I really want to do Bedknobs and Broomsticks because I haven't watched it in years.
Yeah, that's a cute one. Gosh, I love that one.
You don't know from personal experience about being trashy?
Honey, you wrote the book. She said it probably was Vlad. Was it Vlad? It might have been Vlad.
No, it was not Vlad.
It was not Vlad.
No.
Was it Lars?
I think it was Lars.
Maybe it was Lars.
Yeah, well, I have the stay away from me thing with Vlad. It's just the Ukrainian Polish thing. So that's Nikki's thing. Shoot.
What that I hang out with the bartenders? I kind of work there.
You do.
I do. Trying to think who else is. It wasn't Peter.
I think it was Lars. Lars is the one that makes me the Sazeracs that I like.
I don't. Well, I mean, I assume Lars knows how to make a Sazerac. He's a bartender. I'd have to.
Usually Lars has made the Sazeracs when I've had the most regrettable drinking and texting incidents. So those are really.
That doesn't mean that it was good. It just means that there was a lot of alcohol in it. I get you. I'm buying what you're selling, Diana.
It doesn't take that much alcohol with me. So the fact that I knew it
really doesn't. You watch me drinking, you get tipsy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was telling somebody about the gummy plus whiskey incident a few years ago where my ex had to prop me over a chair.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was that. So it was our friend Julie's birthday. And we were in San Francisco and they were having her birthday dinner at Kennedy's, which is basically an Irish pub / curry house.
Yeah.
That doesn't have a liquor license. They can do beer and wine. That's it, which I got to tell you, the beers that I like don't go so well with curry, but the goat was actually pretty good.
I wasn't loving the curry. I just wasn't happy with what I got, I think.
Yeah. So we all leave and they're like, let's go to a bar. The International House, which is a bar, is right next door to Kennedy's. I was like, there's a bar right here. Let's go to this bar. Because by this time I really needed a drink.
You already had to.
I hadn't had to. They didn't have any alcohol. They had
only
beer
right.
and wine.
Why do I keep thinking we had whiskey there?
They did not have, believe me, if they had whiskey there, I would have been a lot happier. No, I had a Pilsner, which does not go well with curry. Anyway, so we walk past the International House. Nobody apparently wants to go there to that bar. I would have been totally happy with that. And then we went kitty corner from there to, I think it's La Roca. So we walk in, I walk up to the bartender and I said, can I have a shot of Jameson, please? And the bartender said, 1 shot of Jameson, starts to pour it. This girl from the group comes up and she goes, oh, I think we're leaving. And I look at her and I look at the bartender. I said, oh, I think we're leaving. Can I have that shot of Jameson, please? Because I was kind of over some of these people. Yeah. And so gives me the shot of Jameson and I take it and I give him the money and the tip. And then she comes back and she's like, oh, we're staying. And I looked at him. I said, oh, we're staying. Can I have another shot of Jameson, please?
So what I remember, because I had taken a gummy and I have a chronic illness, so I was breaking out. So I took the gummy because it was usually bad. I took too much of the gummy. Mm-hmm. We went to the curry house. I did not eat enough curry. I drank something I shouldn't have. I do remember that much because I remember Julie sitting next to me and talking to me, but her sounding further and further away.
That was at La Roca.
No, because I remember the curry was still in front of us when that first started happening.
Like
then we went to like the bar with the whiskey, and I remember you saying, I'm going to have the shot of Jameson, and in the background, I heard Julie going, fuck you guys, I'm staying. It's my birthday.
Speaking of that, let me finish my story. So after I said I'd like another shot of whiskey, some old dodger at the bar was like, I'm going to buy that for her because she didn't care that her friends were leaving. She just wanted her damn whiskey. And that's when I taught Dylan that a brain hemorrhage is a horrible, awful, disgusting drink.
Dylan is my ex-boyfriend. I'm still apologizing for that.
You will be apologizing until we are dead, which is many, many moons from now.
Well, somebody's going to, because it ain't going to be him.
Yeah. No, Caitlin, I have not tried soju, but I do hear that they have made several, like there's a soju tequila, I think. I don't know about a whiskey. I think, was there a soju vodka? I know that when I worked in a sports bar and grill that only had a beer and wine license, we were going to look into soju, but I left before we did that. But yes, at this particular bar, I do remember Miss Diana having a conversation with a chair.
Well, I was also draped over the chair, and there was a girl who sat in front of me, and I was kind of over these people too. There was a girl, because she walked up to me at the end of the conversation and thanked me for the best conversation she had in ages while I was being super irritated by her. But my irritation was across the room from me.
There was no girl. I don't know who you were talking to, but none of the rest of us could see her.
So I got nailed by a narcissistic ghost.
Sorry.
Motherfucker, that would happen to me.
Sorry. In the meantime, I was at the bar, and I remember Dylan had walked up, and he was like, "Oh, I have a brain hemorrhage." And the bartender and I are looking at each other like, "What the fuck is that?" And
what we all would have been better off if he'd had.
No. Well, yeah, an actual brain hemorrhage, yes.
Yeah.
So I look it up because the bartender's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "I don't know." It was gin, Bailey's, and grenadine.
Who the fuck makes gin and Bailey's?
Your ex-boyfriend. And I was like, "That's not a real drink." I was like, "Don't drink that. That's a horrible drink. I should slap you for ever drinking that drink." And he's like, "Well, it was what we drank in college." And I was like, "You're not in college anymore." Well, fine. You know so much about drinking. Order me a drink. I said, "Give that man a shot of whiskey."
Well, this is the thing, is Dylan was just still had enough masculinity issues to pretend he didn't like girl drinks.
Hey, girl drinks are the bomb, and they'll knock you on your ass.
Exactly. It's made for people that shoot things out of their bodies. We can handle it.
Well, it's just, it's, oh God, just, I don't, first, I just don't understand Bailey's and gin. That just made me want to cry. I don't like gin, and that was a crime against gin. That was a crime against Bailey's too.
Bailey's was my favorite drink to get drunk and call with the 800 number in the middle of the night, because it would call Ireland.
Yeah.
So I would just flirt with that poor operator, and he'd be like, "Yeah, we get a lot of calls from America this time in the afternoon."
That's nice. All right. Caitlin says that she has tried when we go to, oh, wait, did I pull it up there? I did. She says she's tried the vodka soju and the citrus one. Lauren said that's all he learned in college. I don't know what, actually, no, Dylan was fairly well educated.
Well, he was very impressed with his education, but I disagree that he was well educated, because some of the shit that he would spout was a lot of neurological theory that had been discredited within a year of his graduation.
Okay, I have to be fair. I stopped listening fairly quickly.
I would have to tune him out a lot, because he would insist on this absolute shit that his professors would teach. That was, his dad was a neuropsychologist, and I swear to God, they're a danger to everyone because their shit is so outdated. And to be fair, I'm actually not bitter. I don't miss this guy at all. I'm mostly just mad at myself for letting him waste my time.
She's just bitter that she didn't let me kill him when I had the chance.
There's a lot of people that say that about him to me. Apparently he was alive out of respect for me.
Yeah, that's not why I did it. You made me promise early on that I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And you haven't released me from it yet.
Good to know. Good to know. We are in a live recording, so we do not want anything recorded. I already have to teach my kids about pleading the fifth this week.
I say a lot of weird shit when I'm drinking.
I know you do. I already had to teach my kids about pleading the fifth this week, which is probably going to nail me in the ass next week.
Okay, so let's look at this comment. A soju bomb. We have gone off the rails, but I'm rolling with it because it's alcohol talk. Pour the shot into a beer and slam a spoon handle down to the bottom of the glass. I'm not sure why you would slam a spoon handle. I mean, I understand dropping the shot in and then chugging it down, because that's what you normally do with a bomb type drink. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the spoon handle does here.
All right. So what else was on our agenda tonight?
Our agenda was toxic positivity and how that is damaging. That's okay. So the toxic positivity of, when someone is going through a shit time and you're like, you'll get through it. It'll be okay.
You need to just get over it.
Yeah.
Well, getting over anything is a fucking process.
Look on the bright side.
Yeah, huh?
And I will say that every bad situation that I've been in has gotten me to something better. That doesn't mean it didn't suck balls while I was in it.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of this. There are two kinds of positivity. There is the I'm going to be positive to deny the problem. Or there's the kind of I want to build a positive life and it's going to take a shit ton of work, including working through my shadow works and finding out how much fucking work it takes to be genuinely positive, which is a really different thing. Learning not to gossip is a big difference, but there's a big difference between the I'm trying to, unfortunately, COVID brain issues still today because it's later in the day, but there's a big difference between I am going to talk about these people and how awful they are and how they're so negative, well, basically being negative.
Shouting negativity, yeah, totally.
And then the people going, okay, I see the thing, I acknowledge the thing, because sometimes you do need to vent. But now we're going to divert the attention towards what's really going on, the feelings underneath, etc., which is much more uncomfortable and a lot more work, but leads to the actual positive outcome.
Something I learned in anger management. Anger is just a mask for other emotions. You know what I really learned in anger management? There are people that are a lot angrier than I was. These are like, you cut me off, I'm going to get out my car and beat the hell out of you. I wasn't that angry.
What happened to the instructor?
Nothing happened to the instructor. I mean, I might have told her that she was stupid once or twice. Well, she was, and other people in the group agreed with me.
Yeah, you were all angry.
No, here's the thing. It was one of those tell your moment of why you were really angry this week. And I was angry because I'd gotten home from work one day and I had friends from out of town that were following me coming to stay at my place because we were working on a show that weekend. And there was a party going on down the street from my house and people were blocking my driveway.
That would piss me off.
That pissed me off. And I had at the time, the house I was renting was a 2-car driveway. And their truck was totally blocking the whole thing. So I'm telling this story and I'd gone to the house and the person that answered was like, oh, I don't know whose car that is. I was like, well, you better fucking find out. And he's like, look, I don't know if we know where the key is. I was like, that's fine. My baseball bat can break the window very easily. And I'm sure I can get it started from there. Oh, no, I know where the keys are. I'll be right back. And so I was expressing my anger. And she was like, now, I understand that you might have been angry, but she's like, how are you really feeling? I was like, I was feeling like they were I was like inconsiderate fucking idiot assholes. And she said, are you sure they were idiots? I was like, yes, they were idiots. I don't live in San Francisco. I don't have a driveway that's this big. I have a 2-car driveway under a light that was working. There's no way they didn't know it was my driveway. And she's like, but are you? And I was like, no, stop talking stupid. You're stupid. Stop. And somebody raised their hand. She's like, what are your thoughts? And he's like, I think she's right.
I pity the people that take on these classes.
Well, I did learn some very good tools through there. I did.
Yeah.
But I also learned that there were other people that were a lot more angry than me. I didn't bring a baseball bat to the house when I asked them to open it. I just used that as a bargaining chip to get them to move their truck.
See, I lived in the Midwest. All I had to do was make sure my pentacles showed, and people were suddenly very cooperative and nervous.
Yeah, that's California. We don't care about that shit.
Yeah, that's because all of y'all have in Hawaii, you can get an ISIS pendant from a vending machine. I saw that for real at a grocery store.
Nice.
And San Francisco is pretty much very close, very similar culture. So
it's just there is toxic positivity. There's also the toxic positivity of if your friend has a problem and they're venting to you, trying to immediately solve that problem.
Yeah. That
I think that you and I learned that, I think, together. Yeah. Well, we both were doing it for each other. And I think we learned that sometimes when you and I are venting to each other, the other person just has to say, Is this a situation where you need support or you need solutions?
And that's actually helped us a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also when people actually want me to do that, I make them pay me. So this way I know they want me to do that.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about like friends, like,
Yeah.
but I mean, not all of our solutions come out of the magical handbag. Not everything is a nail.
Sometimes it's a staple gun.
Pneumatic.
See, I still think that America should just like wire up their homes with pneumatic tubes, and so many postal delivery problems would be solved.
Nice. I actually was thinking about Pretty in Pink. I want to do
Mhm.
that to shoplifters, where she shot that kid with the staple gun. He's like, "You missed my eye by an inch," and she's like, "Half an inch. Get out." That would totally be me in our shop.
I mean, I did once get angry enough at my ex-roommate to threaten to staple gun his dick, because he brought home two guys and it was not for a threesome. So one of them was sleeping on our couch all night, which meant that God knows what could have happened while nobody was watching him, the stranger in our house that was a stranger to Uriah too, that he didn't talk to me about first. It was a guy I literally picked up in a bar, and one of the crappier gay bars. Okay, just because you've done it, you haven't done it in my house with roommates.
That's fair. Why I haven't done it in anyone's house, just my own.
Yeah.
I was smiling because I was thinking about the story about my Puerto Rican grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma and my Uncle Bob were her boyfriend. We called him Uncle Bob. They were up drinking one night, and he was like, "I'm tired. I'm going to bed." She's like, "No, stay up and drink with me." Like, "I want to drink. Stay up and drink with me." He's like, "No, I'm tired." And she's like, "No, stay up with me." And he's like, "Woman, I'm going to bed." And she's like, "Go to bed. See what happens to you." He went to bed. She put a sheet over him, like tucked him into his shoulders. She sewed the sheet to the bed so he couldn't move. Like, he must have been passed out if he didn't wake up from all this. Then she doused him with wine, and when he woke up all freaked out, she told him she was going to set him on fire.
That's not healthy. That's
I know
creative.
that explains a lot about me, but
And if my partner Tom is watching this, we can negotiate.
But the thing is wine isn't really super flammable.
No, it's
So
not.
she couldn't have really set him on fire. I
He
mean,
didn't, but he didn't know what it was, and for all
Yeah.
he knew, it was pig's blood or something. And
no, she didn't roll like that. She wasn't like, she wouldn't waste pig's blood like that. But yeah, so this was one of the women that raised me, which explains a lot.
so yeah, consent and boundaries might take some different discussions.
Oh, this wasn't a.
I used to freak out dudes in bars by going, consent applies to you too, and you're too drunk to consent.
Nice.
That was so confusing to them.
So, toxic positivity doesn't, it comes around in a couple ways. I get kind of tired of the people that are so positive that, oh, I would never do it. Shadow work, be a shadow worker. They hear that, you walk a dark path, and, they kind of have the immediate assumption that the work that you're doing cannot be coming from a place of love because it's dark work.
Yeah, love is extremely neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what I've noticed, the ones that are the most vocal, oh, I would never, are the ones who are always doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I used to work with a woman, oh, I don't work with demons. I mean, how many times was I clearing shit out? Because,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, there was an imp in my reader's room to the point where it finally died in the rafters out of spite.
I'm so well fed then.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I miss those days because I don't, but I was really well fed then.
You were, but it was definitely a law of diminishing returns.
Well, honestly, though, that was an amazing learning experience for us.
It was.
I mean, hi.
Yeah. That definitely got us started. Yeah.
New book.
Yes, that is true. Yes. So, reminder, my book, Hex Twisting Counter Magic Spells for the Irritated Witch, is available for pre-order. And pre-ordering is the best way to care for and feed your authors. So please. But seriously, but if you do want to pre-order from me, you can drop a note through the Golden Apple Facebook page. And I will make sure that I have those books marked and have a set that I pre-order myself for people that would like signed copies.
Yes, because we will not be carrying it on our website until after the pre-order is done.
Because, literally I can't, the books aren't printed yet. So
but also because we want to give the pre-order through Llewellyn to have a chance.
Yeah, as much as possible. So anything you can do through Amazon would help me out right now.
Also, fun fact, there's a lot of anecdotes from crap that's happened to us. And, times that, we did shit that probably should have offed us. Anybody else, I think it would have offed.
I agreed. Honestly, I think we are still alive because the gods just find our show entertaining as hell.
Here's to hoping.
Yeah. The 40-something supernatural with girls. But
I don't know. I want Adventures in Witchery. We should have a cool name. Good Omens, the reality show.
Yeah, you're the Crowley, and I'm the Aziraphale. And honestly, all I want is books and sushi most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, one, you were definitely the more angelic of both of us. But two, if I was the angel, I couldn't pronounce my own name.
That would suck. I can barely pronounce my own last name. Yeah. That's why I anglicize it. Because you actually have to get back in your throat. And I have accidentally launched phlegm trying to say my own name.
Nice. Yeah, so if you practice toxic positivity and think that you're just being positive and being sweet, please stop and take a look at the mirror and realize that it's annoying.
Also, love and light definitely does not solve problems when you're really in deep shit.
Yeah. My philosophy is harm none, but take no shit, which means that if you fuck with me, I will fuck with you back harder. And I'm not afraid to cut a bitch because I'm ghetto as fuck.
Yeah, and I'm the angelic one. I'm like, fuck, harm none. Who do I need to off so I can go back to sleep?
Yep. Aw, thanks for being a part of our show, Caitlin.
Thank you, Caitlin. It was great hearing from you.
I'm not sure if you popped into the meeting earlier. I know that there was a Caitlin on. I wasn't sure if it was you, and I didn't get a chance to do the round robin because one of our people had a personal loss and was sharing. So we were giving him the time to do that.
Yeah.
And if you're watching the show, so many hugs, so much love.
Yeah. Sending you love because, yeah. Yeah, and I had to come in late because I was fried because I had some fairly difficult client work today. And between that and some technical difficulties I had with my website, because the new Google Sites has no hosting and won't let you export. So I have a beautiful website that no one can see, which caused a little bit of a crisis today.
Yeah, that blows.
That's just a what the fuck, Google.
Yeah. Google, if you are watching, that should be fixed.
What the fuck, Google?
Right? I'm the person that'll say it. I don't care.
Well, I already talked to my partner that works for Google, so there's a chance that there will be something squeaked up a ladder somewhere.
There we go. That'll be cool. Speaking of, if you have not experienced a Diana Rachel reading, how can we find you?
If you go to my Facebook page, facebook.com/thespiritedwitch, you can send me a message. Or you go to dianarachel.com and it will go to my Linktree site right now, which you'll be able to find me through Facebook or Instagram or through my Facebook author page. If you happen to be in the Michigan area, I am, and this is kind of cool, is I'm going to be going back to doing in-person readings at Elements Kalamazoo and potentially at Elements Lavender Door, which is where I will be this weekend while I am shooting Witchcon.
And
I don't remember. I'm tired.
You
can find me at goldenapple.metaphysical.com, which is good because I'm part owner of that shop. So
this is my dismay every time you're on a podcast. I'm always looking at my screen going, mention the shop. Mention the shop. She's not going to mention the shop. Mention the shop.
The last podcast I did, we talked a lot about the shop. Okay. We did talk a lot about the shop.
I think it was at work when you did that one, so I didn't get to see.
Jennifer was there. She saw it. She can vouch for me. Oh, wait. Did she say something about a flamethrower?
Wait, what? Flamethrower? What?
All right.
Oh, she says, what's the cool necklace that you're wearing? That's
it's not. I literally don't remember where I got it now. I know Cindy was with me when I bought it. It's a different kind of evil eye necklace. So, and I tend to collect these. This is kind of evil eyes and hands of Fatima are like my favorite thing because, you know, makeup and me and eye makeup.
Mhm.
So like even tonight, like I got a little fancy with it. So because
Ooh, what if we made a like a magic eyeliner, like a protection eyeliner? That would be kind of cool.
there is a historic tradition. Kohl eyeliner was used to protect from the evil eye and to protect from witchcrafts. So there is a folkloric tradition behind it, and there's all kinds of folkloric traditions around makeup. So yeah, we could do some cool shit. There was a lady in Minneapolis, I don't know if she's still around, who made magical lipsticks that were charged with different goddess energies.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so she had one called Aradia that had like the pink I've ever had. She was just phenomenal at it. So that was carried. I have Horace. I know I have Horace in Minneapolis had a loss. Is one of the owners, Jane, passed away last week.
Oh no.
So my heart's going out to them because that was where I was supposed to do my book launch for
And
Urban
then
Magic, and
all the shit
yeah,
hit the fan.
yeah, and I'm really bummed because she was the one trying to talk me into going out there anyway and doing it, and I'm like, I want to. It just, you know, I'm seeing this wave of horror rolling, and maybe not. So it's just like it's so weird. All of this, like, I think a lot of people do feel paused, like there was this supposed to happen, and letting that go is just difficult even for me.
Yeah.
Like there's a part of me that hasn't let go of the fact that I'm not in San Francisco right now, that I'm going to have to figure out a way to have two residences. And like there's part of me going, there's so much I've missed except I didn't.
Yeah, I get that.
So
I'm going to take time out for a commercial.
okay.
And we are plugging the services of our shop today. I've just decided we're going to include this segment. So let's see, share. I know how to share the stupid screen, people. Let's see, no. Application window, here we go. Nope, that's not what I want, Chrome tab. There we go. Services at Golden Apple Metaphysical. Can you see the services?
Oh, this looks great. Yeah.
So we have energy clearing that can be done by quite a few of our practitioners. We do have 3 divination services. Actually, I'm sorry, 4 of the tarot divination. So we have a 15-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute, and 90-minute. The 90-minute definitely is for some really intense work. Look at that. Ooh, I love my page. So these are online sessions right now. Unless you're in the Michigan area.
Yeah, and I know as things are opening up, we may figure it out, but I may be able to do some in San Francisco, but we'll have to be outside somewhere. So,
and this is the longest session that we actually have for you because as we have listed there, you get tired too.
Yep. And also my readings, a 15-minute reading is like a 40-minute reading with other people. I read extremely fast. I process fast, and and people tend to walk away with homework assignments. And Nikki has had many of them.
I have had many, many, many. Let's see, what else do we have on here? We have a house cleanse, which those are a little, I know, Diana, you can do the distance.
I can.
Work. So does that extend to the house cleanse?
That does extend to the house cleanses. I have done successful house cleansings, and as long as it's not an animistic spirit, I can pretty much remove things distance or negotiate distance. If it's an animistic spirit, you pretty much have to be there.
Yeah, we kind of have Diana for a lot of these first services because she's got the most under her belt. Spirit identification and communication.
Again, this is we'll figure out what it is, and from there, whether or not we can have a conversation with it, because Nikki and I both do our spirit work from a place of the laws of hospitality. So this means that we invite the spirit to be our guest, not in our bodies, because that gets weird.
As you.
Yeah. But we invite them to be a guest, we give them an offering, and we invite them to have a conversation about what's going on and see if we can renegotiate whatever may be happening. So, and it's also that you'll figure out if it's a jinn or a demon, or one time we had someone with an angel haunting. That one was weird.
Yeah, I think my favorite one was that weird little doll on the wall. Remember that? It was, I don't know if it was a puppet or what it was. We have distance energy clearing, And then this one is actually, I think, maybe the coolest of our services so far, the amorphous metaphysical problem solving. So basically, we figure out what your issue is, and then we figure out who's the best person to fix your problem. And sometimes it might be some of us working together to fix your problem.
And sometimes it may not be a magical person at all. So part of the service, because I was advertising when I was doing this life coaching, I realized that what I do is kind of in a different arena. But it's okay, we're going to figure out first like what the practical issues are. If you need to use your library as a resource, if you need help funding resources, if I need to help you find a psychologist or psychiatrist. So it's frequently a very full service experience where we make sure you've got all of your bases covered, and then we narrow it down to the spirit work that needs to be done.
Next on our list, we have ritual and spell coaching.
And this is something where I think everyone here has a different perspective. So, I know like Nikki and I both tend to take very different perspectives. Cinti has a very different perspective and is really good at spell troubleshooting. And I'm not sure who else we have on board. I know that Christine Rossi is around, but I don't think she's on our staff just yet.
Well, we actually do have some services listed for Christine Rossi.
Okay.
We have angelic readings, intuitive consultations, tarot divination, and then angelic counseling. Now, they're all a little bit different there. If you click on the links when you're on the page, it gives you a description of every item. And she uses a lot of different tools to do her divination.
She does. I worked with Christine years ago, and we would do a lot of skill exchange trades, and what I learned from her was so valuable. It's nowhere near the way I would approach things, but it was incredibly valuable and still is.
Our final thing that we have on the board right now is Rooted in Bedrock, which is Cinti's brand. Shadow work and spiritual life coaching. Now, Cinti approaches things very differently than we do, but it's extremely effective. And coming from that place where you literally are working through your shadow trauma is just it's kind of mind blowing to me, because I never really thought of them as connected.
Yeah, but they very much are. And Cinti has developed a technique that I find fairly unique, but almost everything they do is unique unto itself and very effective. So, even if they weren't my life partner, I would recommend them highly.
We have future things that are coming up.
All right. Cinti is home tonight.
No peanut gallery.
Yeah. Well, Cinti heard their name being named, and name was being taken in vain. They get to comment then. We were invoking the ice giants.
We were, but very complimentary.
Yes.
At some point, once I get my brand together, I'll be doing pendulum divination and shadow cleansing.
And Nikki's pendulum work is phenomenal, and the shadow cleansing is also rare.
It's different.
It's very different. It is. Yeah. Like each one of us covers a very, very different arena. So all of the bases possible are covered. Left hand, right hand. I don't know where I dropped my compass. It's all there. Yeah.
So it's we have a good group of people. I do hope that that we are able to get, there's someone else that has been working with us that I'm not sure if they're ready to come out with their services, but I know we've started talking again about relisting services on the website, which will include Reiki healing is one of the things that it will include.
And at some point when we are ready to get Zoom classes up and going, there will be other more interactive and on-demand things available.
Okay, so this is a question from Elsa. What is shadow cleansing? Can you describe as a tantalizing preview of what's to come? Okay, I don't know really how tantalizing it is. I just think it's weird. Um,
Like when I took some, I can't even remember what I was doing, but I took some kind of weird inner child damage, and Nikki had to pull that off of me.
I seem to have a talent for pulling out negative energy and or sometimes attachments. And there are other people that can do that. Is it tasty? Sometimes it's tasty.
Frequently with me, it is
Actually,
not.
yeah. Well, you're the one that gets the psychic vomit. I don't.
Yeah, Scott Cunningham never told me about psychic vomit.
Yeah. Sometimes I get indigestion. The reason we're making food references is unlike many other energy workers, um, I kind of ingest it and it passes through my system. I kind of like food, but like 8 hours worth of digesting in like 10 minutes, which is not always pleasant.
It is frequently gross, and between you and Urian, the toilet paper was doomed for a while.
Hey,
Mostly
we're
Urian.
alive.
Mostly
We're
Urian.
alive. I never used your toilet paper to make myself a mummy.
No, that was my ex-roommate.
Yeah. But I can actually do it for quite a long period of time without ill effects. I think the longest I did it was 3 days at the first PantheaCon where I'd actually started to use this skill set. And then I didn't collapse. I didn't actually collapse then.
No, that was after you did a specific ritual where there was like a
Well, I
like
don't, I
there's
don't
some
mind
kind of
saying
like
it. I don't
you
mind
had
saying
like
it.
a weird hypothermia reaction.
Yeah, I'd been doing it since we came to PantheaCon, and then I'd had a couple really intense rituals. I had a drawing from the well ritual, which was very intense for me. And then I had another ritual where we were talking about community grief, and people were sharing their grief and their fears and all of those things. I was just literally trying to, I was consciously pulling from the group. And then the last thing I did on that particular day was I attended an ADF ritual for one of my partner's groups. And while I didn't participate in the ritual, their particular deities, I want to say they're shining ones, found me particularly tasty. And when I got back to Diana's room, I was kind of a Nikki sickle.
Yeah, that was concerning.
Yeah, but it hasn't happened since.
No.
And I think I passed out at one PantheaCon. That was when we had that impromptu healing thing where it was you, me. I think Sharon Knight was helping with that as well.
Yeah, because one of our members of our group had an empath meltdown during a fire alarm.
And I probably took on way more than I should have.
Yeah.
And then I remember leaving you, the elevators were down, but I was on a lower floor than you were. I think I was on 4 and you guys were like on 8. So I went to my room and I remember walking in the door, collapsing on the floor. When I could move again, I crawled into the chair and I passed out for like 3 hours. When I could move again after that, I just crawled into bed. And you didn't hear from me till the next day.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember because that was the year I found out that I had a calling for training other empaths.
Yes.
And that is something that I do with the Spirited Witch practice and I've been doing with workshops for a couple years now, are these empath trainings to help empaths identify themselves and manage their energy better and manage their boundaries better.
Mm-hmm. Which is super duper important.
It is.
Because it's like, even when I think the person from our group was shielding, but the shields that they were using weren't enough.
They weren't enough. They weren't in the right place. And she had never learned about grounding.
Mm-hmm. And just to put it in perspective, yes, I can help with negative emotions, but all I can really do there is give you like a buffer, just enough room so that you can like take a deep breath and just realize that, yes, you can get through whatever it is you're going through. Like I can't take that stuff away, unfortunately. It really seems to be limited to negative energies that are attached to you. as well as attachments like spiritual or the like.
And this is something is what Cinti's does is get to the thing. It helps you uncover where the trauma is so you can heal it.
Mhm.
And they also do the cleansing like Nikki does, but they do this added level. And the one thing that I think has been very consistent between the two of you as shadow workers is that you guys can't heal the trauma. You can only show where it is. So I know with Cinti's practice, because I've been going through it, it's intensive enough that usually they require anyone who works with them to have a therapist lined up because there's going to be wounds uncovered that you then have to work on.
Well, I honestly don't even touch the trauma. If there's any kind of emotional trauma attached to it, I'm not effective against that at all. I'm literally for spiritual, energetic, metaphysical, occasionally that buffer if you've got some really heavy emotions on you, but really, like I said, it's just enough to take a deep breath. But if you have shit writing you that shouldn't be writing you, that's where I can help you.
Yeah. Well, and I know Cinti is, I in some ways I'm Cinti's patient zero. I'm not the only person they've worked with this way on. There were people before me, but I've probably been the longest running and most intensive. I know I sometimes have to remind them that no, I did not come out here for the healing work. I came out there for the hotness that was them. But the healing work is an interesting, if sometimes painful perk. Yeah, I'm getting some looks from the peanut gallery.
So I hope that answered your question. I don't know if that was tantalizing or if you're just kind of, I don't know. You could be. Yeah, right. That's me half the time. I'm like, what?
And yet you keep hanging out with me anyway.
Yeah, I do, because it's been a crazy but fun 6 years. 6 years. Do you realize that?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, what's the 6th anniversary?
Like whatever day I walked into Emperor Norton. Oh,
no,
what's
I'm thinking
the
like,
6th anniversary on the gift sale?
I'm thinking like the one like first year is paper.
Yeah.
Like that's the only year I ever remember is paper because I'm screwed when we get to the diamond one.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. 6th anniversary gift. Let's see. 6th. Come on, phone. You figure out my crap for everything else. There we go. 6th anniversary gift is just traditionally, dude. Candy for sweetness or iron for strength. Contemporary or modern gift, wood, which signifies a long-lasting and solid marriage. Should I give you wood, Diana?
I was thinking maybe Stan should give you wood because I am sending you meat tomorrow for the rest of your birthday present anyway.
I like meat.
You're going to be getting meat tomorrow.
Woohoo, meat. I could send you some iron railroad spikes.
I think I have a couple around the house, but I'd never say no to more.
Or candy for sweetness. I don't think either one of us are particularly sweet. Endearing, maybe. Sweet,
Spicy.
I don't know.
Spicy. I'm a biter.
We're like those, gosh, what are those candies? The Sweet and Sour Patch Kids? Sometimes they're sweet, and sometimes they're bitter.
Maybe I think I'm more salted licorice, an extremely acquired taste.
Licorice is...
Hey, I like absinthe and licorice and all of those things. More for me.
You do. You really do. But I get all the mushrooms.
You have all the mushrooms you want. Cinti can, well, you'll have to split them with Cinti.
Not symbolically phallic at all, just the mushrooms.
Just the actual mushrooms. More for both of you.
There we go.
And I still have to show the licorice Cinti because Cinti eats everything, damn it. But, well,
Fair enough.
there is a class of weird Diana food, which is mostly sushi. But you've had sushi with me, though. So.
Sushi. I'm trying to figure out how to make keto sushi with like cauliflower rice.
Let me know how that works out. I'm curious. I mean, I actually have snack packs of nori, and I kind of love them.
There we go. The weird things we talk about on Left Unsupervised. That's
Which is pretty much the weird things we talk about in person anyway. It would be just as strange if you were hanging out at a bar with us.
It would probably be stranger.
Likely.
There would be butt stuff conversation.
Well, no, that's at a coffee shop.
Oh, with the group, yes.
You know, I seem to attract the gay men that are mostly attracted to my breasts and have the conversations with them. Or the ones that basically just need therapy at the bar, which is fine if they're buying me drinks.
Yeah. I'm too busy usually at the bar. If we're at Martini's, I'm just busy. I think even the times that you've come there with dates, I think I maybe have enough time to say hello to you, and then you always sit in the front room.
Well, yeah, because it's usually too crowded in the back.
Yeah, so you have good privacy on your dates because I'm not coming over bugging y'all.
No, usually Lauren's the one keeping an eye on me and like doing safety checks on me, and like I would not be surprised if she nicked the guy's wallet and did a credit check and then came back.
She'd be good with that. She'd be like, I checked his blood type too.
She would too. She'd probably have some hair and a blood sample for me if I asked.
That'd be great. They'd find little chicken feet on their door.
He's married. Is that a problem? Only if it's a problem for his wife. Or husband. That's happened.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. So, we get the past 6 years have been, they've been fun, I think. I mean, not everything has been enjoyable.
We've had a lot of fun.
But we've had a lot of fun, yeah. I mean, even when we've had fun, I won't say it's always been enjoyable, but it's been fun. I don't necessarily think that fun is always like, oh my God, that's like we're in Disneyland, you know. But it's been fun, and we've laughed about it later.
I mean, if there's anyone that I want to spend my life looking at smoking wreckage with, it is you.
Thanks. Ditto.
Oh, Cynthia's mad now.
Sorry, Cynthia. Excuse me, I had dibs first. Sorry. Work
well,
life.
And I'm pretty sure that Cynthia would probably be part of stirring up the smoking wreckage, so everyone has a role in this one.
No, Cynthia would be looking at me going, I told you not to give her a flamethrower.
Okay, yeah. There's some fun gestures. I'm kind of wishing I could turn the camera, but not wrong.
I'm going to give it to her.
Yeah. Oh, earlier this week, I made a joke about getting a flamethrower. My 10-year-old was in school and I heard this, no flamethrower! And he went right back to class.
What if I give her a flamethrower and a fire extinguisher?
Okay, the faces they're making. Hey, Cynthia, they actually like you. They're actually telling you before they get me weapons. They weren't doing that with Marie and Dylan. They were just giving me weapons as soon as Marie asked for a divorce. So, that's only the right thing to do. Yeah, I don't know if you heard that. Cynthia said, well, that's only the right thing to do.
Hey, and most of the big things that we set on fire were in the park.
And we did make sure we had stuff to put the fire out afterwards.
We did, and they were in a fire receptacle.
They were. And there's responsible arson. They like it. And there's only one time that it got up to 8-foot flames.
That was when that Faye dude came and kept an eye on us. That was pretty awesome.
That was pretty awesome. That was pretty obvious too. When the Golden Gate Park and the fairies there decide they're going to guard you, they're not subtle.
Yeah. We've had some, we need to write a book just about our weird experiences, because like some of the things when we've done stuff out in the park have like been a trip and a half.
Yeah. Like the time when we did that, we did a breakup spell and the coyote started howling and this guy came out, offered us oranges and went and calmed the coyote.
And then when we were actually you were mid Hulk smash and was that the same one? The same?
No, that was a different one. That was the solstice incident. Well,
no, I was thinking about when we were in the little alcove in the park, and I had that protection line, and there was somebody. I say somebody. There was something out there. Yeah, that was not coyote or homeless person or nefarious person.
That was winter solstice, and I wasn't exactly in my right mind, but I do remember. Yeah, because there was something watching.
Yeah, that was a trip. The stuff that I have been through with this woman sounds fairly unbelievable. And if it happened to anybody, if someone was telling me this story, I would literally be like,
Or they'd be looking at me going, her?
Sure you did. Sure you did. Yeah.
Well, I don't look like the type. I don't. Like, look at my hair. Like, completely undyed.
Oh, you can't see it on camera, but I dyed my hair last week too.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah,
to get
no-
rid of the COVID gray.
Yeah. No dyed hair, no visible tattoos. I don't look like the type.
I like them. Yeah, no, you look like the soccer mom. It's true.
I do. I'm just a soccer mom that will probably punch you and kick your ass later.
Yeah, you have the inner cut a bitch. You just don't let her out very much.
No, because I have really good boots, so I really need to keep the blood off of them. It's hard to find tailors that won't say anything.
Dude, what's that stuff you can Scotch guard them?
It doesn't work as well in leather. But
It's designed for leather.
Apparently I'm not supposed to Scotch guard children either. Or the dog.
Do you get blood on them often?
Usually they do that to themselves.
Well, see, then it's natural. It'll rub in.
I am new at parenting. This may be part of the Scotch guard theory.
Okay, so let me tell you, with the when you actually have babies, the first kid you're boiling everything, you're making sure everything's immaculate before it touches them. The second kid, you rinse it off in like a pacifier, you rinse it off in hot water. The third one, you let the dog lick it and then you stick it back in their mouth. That's how it works.
Good to know.
The germs are good for them. Dude, we ate mud pies and drank out of the hose, and we're fine.
I got into a sand fight with the neighbors so badly that my mother stripped me down and could not tell I was naked.
Well, see?
Yeah.
And we're fine. I mean, a little odd on occasion, but we're fine.
Just slightly dented.
But we're fine. A little odd on occasion, but we're fine. No, I'm just kidding. I saw your face. You kind of just stopped and looked at me. I'm going to rewind that.
I'm glad I provide you so much extra entertainment.
Feeling pretty damn good now. That was pretty fucking funny. I amuse the shit out of myself. If you didn't know and didn't know me, I amuse the shit out of myself. And Diana amuses me too. So we're just a laugh riot.
Nikki is always having a good time somehow.
I am, well, because you know what? It takes a lot of energy to be pissed off. I learned that in anger management too.
There's part of me that just wants to see a cartoon series of you and our anger management.
Oh, if there are any cartoonists out there, DM me. That would be awesome.
Actually, that would
be Nikki Face. Happy Nikki Face. Oh, I can't really do that one. That's weird.
When Harley Quinn is the reasonable role model, this is what happens when Harley Quinn is your therapist. Nikki!
Dude, have you seen Birds of Prey? I love that.
I love that. I fucking love it.
And she feeds him licorice because that's what I would do with the licorice because I would need it.
It was the breakup movie I needed.
There you go. See?
And my favorite line of that movie is I have a PhD, motherfucker.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, and I did basically ditch the Joker for Poison Ivy. So,
well, the thing is that I think that when smart women choose questionable men, people think that they've lost their mind. But you know what? Maybe she had a reason for it. Maybe she just wanted to feel. I think that sometimes when we're bound by the restraints of society, we just want to break free and go wild. And I think that the Joker, even though, yes, it was dysfunctional, I think that he allowed her that freedom. And that was the true appeal of him.
I think so. I think it was an acceptance of everything about her that everyone else found unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading I'm reading a Joker Harley backstory series right now, and it's got a different view where it's very clear that she has PTSD, and it can look, and this is one where the Joker is a serial killer, and she's the profiler that has to hunt him, and he's taken an interest in her, and so it's a whole storyline. Yes, I'm being a geek, but I have a point.
No, I like it. I like it.
But in this storyline, it's becoming more and more clear that she has PTSD, and PTSD can look like sociopathy. And so you've got this true sociopath and this person with PTSD in the shut down to the point of being a sociopath, and looking at where that line is. So it's kind of fascinating. So I've been reading the whole series. I think I think the 9th comic came out because it's an every other month comic, and it's phenomenal storytelling.
See,
You know,
I hear the word sociopath here, and I'm like, outside of the killing, which some of those people needed to die, I'm just kind of like, some of that was just good, unwholesome fun.
the lack of inhibitions can be fun. I actually was married to a sociopath. But there's also a lot of sociopaths are just lazy. It's the motivated ones you got to worry about. But the lazy can take its own toll.
See, I mean, if they weren't killing people, would we worry about them?
They can be drains in other ways. So I would be. And it's not just that they're drains, it's they do some serious damage. This is the thing, is when somebody can psychologically abuses you enough, it does rewire your brain, and it is really hard to unwire that.
Fair. I realize that looking through a different lens, we know what lens that is.
Yeah.
But that's just from right
Okay.
now.
Crap. It did the thing again.
No, we're good. I'm still here.
Okay, good. Okay. Like it was getting tinny for a second.
Yeah. I think it comes in and out. But it looks like my internet is not being weird now.
Good.
Yeah, sometimes I look at things through a different lens. It might be because I was raised by criminals.
I was just raised by black market capitalists from Poland and subsistence farmers, so the view's a little different.
Jennifer's interested in the comic.
Do you want me to send you my old copies? Because I don't know if I'm going to reread them anytime soon. So message me later, because I'd be happy to send them to you, Jennifer.
I like the arc where she's the profiler.
I really like that arc. I like that this is the first one where I feel like she's being treated with respect and not slut-shamed.
Yeah, because that sucks.
Plus I do like I haven't seen the cartoon yet with her and Poison Ivy, because, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are canon now. They are a couple.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I kind of love them together because, honestly, Poison Ivy is just a hero that no one appreciates.
Except for the killing.
She's very selective about the killing. There are some people, I'm taking the Sookie St. James series, True Blood. Some people just need a good killing.
You're wearing my lens now.
Oh, no, I have that lens, and I had that before you met me. I'm just slightly more selective about who I'd nominate.
One of the things that I like about Harley Quinn as a character is she does all this crazy shit, this crazy bad stuff, but she owns it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people are still trying to put her in a box, but she's like, I'm uninterested in your box. In fact, I will blow up your box. And
she actually would. I know there's some other Harley Quinn comic that I picked up recently where I almost took pictures and posted on the internet, but I figured that would cause some trademark problems where, Poison Ivy is pissed off at her. There's some problems she's having in New York. She's not the most responsible person. And so she's trying to get her little gang out of trouble, and she has to break into the Joker's lair and has this PTSD incident. And she actually has to stop and explain to the person with her who's going, what the hell was that? What a trigger is and why she got triggered. And it was accurate.
Here's the funny part is that you say she's not the most responsible person, but look at all her accomplishments when she was on the right path.
Yeah.
She is a very responsible person, but now she's letting go of that part of her that feels like she needs to be responsible.
Yeah, I think there's a little more. I think from following the character, it's a little more complicated. Because with the Joker is the letting go, but then when she leaves the Joker and realizes, hey, this relationship was completely destroying my sense of self, which is what it did, and this is what's been repeated throughout for her character. And then she's trying to be her own woman again, but she's decided that who she is a criminal. This is not just what she knows, but who she is. And then is working out but she doesn't always remember to pay her bill. She doesn't always remember to pay rent. She makes some promises that she forgets to keep and then has to deal with it. And so doing the crazy shit where she lands, it's fine for her, but she's going through this arc in this other comic I've been reading of recognizing how some of that crazy behavior impacts other people she cares about.
Fair.
And the people that care about her who actually reciprocate in a real way, unlike the Joker, who really only wanted her around like a lot of toxic men do as a status symbol. Notice I said toxic men, not a lot of men, just toxic men.
What I do like about comic book villains is that they are not conflicted. The good guys are always conflicted. Am I doing the right thing? You know, it's nauseating, quite frankly.
I think maybe that's why like Superman is he actually doesn't spend a lot of time conflicted.
Yeah, I just, you know, like I could, you know, sit in the corner and cry one out for sure, but like I think that maybe that's my thing. Like sometimes I do things that other people don't understand.
Yeah.
And they think that I'm confused, or they think that maybe I don't know what I'm doing, or you know, it never occurs to them that maybe I know exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe I over-identify much. But, you know, I own it. That's the difference. I'm totally fine saying, you know, like prior relationships. I screwed up and made bad decisions. But later owned those decisions and was like, yeah, I fucked up.
See,
It doesn't matter why I did it at the time.
Yeah. You know, my ex-husband made the comment to me because Buffy was on the air when we were married that, you know, I wanted to think I was the Willow of the outfit, but really I was the Buffy of the outfit because my response to everything was, yeah, this is probably hopeless, but I still got to do it.
Yeah, still the faith.
Yeah. Faith got to have way more fun.
Yes.
She was way more fucked up, but way more fun.
But she
there's
was
a reason.
Well, she wasn't always okay with the fact that she was fucked up.
Well, there's a reason I like season 6 of Buffy, even though most people hated that season, is you got to see all your heroes become anti-heroes, and that was the Buffy I identified with, was trying to hold your shit together while still fucking up.
Well, yeah, and that's, you know what, that is what life is about. That is what adulting is.
Yeah.
You know, that is what, when my first husband left and I was stuck in a house that I couldn't afford to pay for, you know, I was doing what I could just to make it happen, and I was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
You know, but I got through it. I moved forward in my life. I'm in a better place. And that's kind of why you do it.
Yeah.
You know, you realize that it may suck beyond the telling of it. Yes, that is part of a Buffy line. On occasion, my life might suck beyond the telling of it. But, you know, I think that she became more interesting then. Now, she still was hiding who she was and who she wanted, because that was quote unquote bad. But she was able to embrace a part of herself when she was with him that she couldn't among her friends.
We're talking about Spike, by the way. Buffy shagged Spike. If you think that's a spoiler now, get the fuck over it. It's been how many years?
Oh, it's been how many years? But there's that episode you have to watch where they completely demolish the house while they're having sex.
And you hear that zipper getting pulled, and it's just so fucking.
So, you know, my oldest daughter, Noelle, just finally saw season 6. When she used to watch Buffy with me when she was a kid, would not let her watch season 6 at all.
I wouldn't. No, not for a kid.
So she's 23 now. She's going to be 24, and she just finally saw season 6.
Did she go, oh shit, that's my life?
No, she was like, that's why you didn't let me see any of it. And I was like, yeah, you were a kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
and that got pretty damn raw.
Yeah, that was great.
It got pretty raw. All right. Was there anything else we had to cover tonight? Because
those were our topics, but I think we got into some interesting topics as well.
We did. I got to nerd out in something that you actually enjoyed me nerding out on.
I do. You know what? I actually do. I don't really read comic books, just because there is a time factor there.
Yeah.
But I encourage Christopher to read graphic novels because they have just enough wording and visuals to keep him interested.
Yeah, we do the same thing with our youngest because it's what gets him reading.
And honestly, I think people don't give graphic novels enough credit. There is a ton of reading in there.
And this is some good stuff. Like Neil Gaiman was originally a comic book writer. He still writes comic books, and they're
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah, I like him getting into those things because he really does identify with the hero characters. So we were before we close out, we were taking a walk the other day, and we're walking around this, like, I don't know how far it is, but we were walking, and the kids were talking about monsters, and I was like, guys, you don't really have to worry about monsters, especially when you're with other people. Like, you don't have to be faster than the monster. You just have to be faster than someone you're with.
Yeah.
And Chris was completely scandalized. She was like, Mom, you sacrifice yourself to help other people. I'm like, oh, that's only your father, that little angel there. So cute.
Wait until there's the Santa Claus talk, and then there's your mother is Maleficent, honey. Your mother is the Wicked Queen.
Well, no, and he gets that. Like, he accepts me and acknowledges me for who I am. But just the fact that he's like, even if I was with someone I didn't like, I would sacrifice myself so they could get away. I'm like, and when he plays his imaginary games, he's always got some kind of even his darker characters have some kind of superpower, and he ends up helping people. And when I talk about you can walk a path in the dark and still come from a place of love, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
If you're not embracing the dark half of yourself, you're only half a person. You're only half a practitioner.
And remember, too much light can make you blind.
Mm-hmm. But too much masturbation cannot.
That depends where you aim and what you're using.
One of you was going to say something.
We both did at the same time, to be honest.
It was hysterical. I knew that I was going to get that reaction.
It's also, if you hit yourself in the face with the Hitachi, you're doing it wrong. Maybe.
Why is the Hitachi by your face? That's all I'm saying.
Well, I've been to a lot of dungeons, so stuff happens.
I don't know. Okay. I got nothing. Sorry. We still have 4 people watching us, which I think is awesome. I don't know who the 4 people are. If you're here, give yourself a shout out.
Thank you for hanging in. I'm sure you were amused and horrified by now.
I still would like to know if that was a good preview of shadow cleansing.
Yeah, or if you have any questions. And again, if you're watching this on the replay later, go ahead and comment. Please ask questions. We are still happy to follow up and answer any questions you may have.
Yeah, here's the thing. Because the big thing about us is that, I want to say there are no such things as stupid questions, which is a lie because there are stupid questions. But if you're truly coming from a place where you want the knowledge, I don't think that questions are stupid. So like, ask us the questions. Come on here and talk about your path, because you know what? There's room for everybody at the table. If you have a shop and you have some cool items, like, we'd love to see it. There's a I've gotten into the TikTok. I call it the TikTok, like my grandma would.
And like, space.
Or like Katya Smirnovskaya, my favorite Russian countess. I've gotten into the TikTok, and there is a witch that I follow on there. It's Coma Witch, and the witch is instead of a W, it's 2 V's, who has an Etsy shop that has really incredible stuff. The friend of a different person that I follow on Etsy, that friend of Cinti's that runs is it Carnivorous Things?
I think it's Carnivorous Things.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cinti's nodding.
Incredible. And that, like, this stuff, like, my jaw dropped when I looked at this person's Etsy. Like, people are out there creating incredible things. Like, when we all get together, we come up with some incredible fucking content. And just seeing people talk about what they're passionate about, especially when it comes to metaphysics, is such an incredible thing. Like, I feel weird talking about the stuff that I do just because I'm still wrapping my brain about it. Mm-hmm. But like, I hear other people talk about the stuff that they're doing, and like, my mind is just just blown. I know you didn't get to see it the day when we had a meetup and Elsa was showing the database that they have for tarot.
Yeah.
That's like our bat cave. Like that's a bat cave right there.
Yeah. Well, the stuff that our group comes up with is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. It's just
none of it's centralized. It's all people just doing their own things and then bringing it back and bouncing it off of each other.
Yeah, and we're all social, so half the time we're talking about weird shit that happens in our day.
Yeah.
And it's just when people get together and when they are talking about things that, like I said, like they're passionate about, especially when it comes to creation. There are so many amazing things out there, and when you really look at what people are doing out there, you have to understand that the things that you're thinking about creating that you dismiss and give yourself the excuses of why you can't do it, they are things that the world needs. If you've come up with it, someone out there needs it. I truly, truly believe that. That was my cool little circle back to our first topic.
Of do the thing.
Do the thing. Drink the wine. Dance well, unless you're in AA, then don't drink the wine. Drink the grape juice.
Buy the fire extinguisher, especially if you live with me.
But
do the thing.
If your boss is watching this, you didn't hear it from me, but call out sick and go to the beach every once in a while. Not every day, not every week, not even every month, but go to the park, have a picnic, run around on a dewy morning with no shoes on in the grass. Best feeling ever.
Run screaming to the night. Rearrange your neighbor's lawn chair. Wait, no.
You could do that. That would be funny. Don't put it on their roof and nail it down. They don't like that.
Use something weirder than gnomes or pink flamingos. And don't get, well, then this is what my father raised me with, is don't get caught, always hide the bodies, and specific to me, don't join a cult, but if you're going to go that route, start one, you make better money.
Fair.
And of course, I'm the one who does the anti-negative cult work, so no irony there. So
I stick with rule number 1, don't get caught. Work rule number 1, don't fuck with my money. And
City Priestess rule, do not fuck with our food.
Don't fuck with our food. That is a Demoncinator rule as well. And you know what? Put your heart on your sleeve, but don't let your brain go to sleep. Look for the red flags. Fall in love whenever you can.
Yeah,
pretty much. By your garden gate. Sorry, I jumped to practical magic.
I do. Well, who doesn't love practical magic? And if you're me, you're just going to have to make peace with it just being all red flags. So just looking for the orange that you can settle for.
Fair. But don't be afraid to give your heart away, but be smart about it. So
I was not, but I think I needed a break from being smart about it for a while.
You know what? You had those experiences for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
From every bad thing, we come to a better place. And I think that you are in a better place.
I think I am where I need to be.
Mm-hmm. Is it perfect? No, but that always gives us something to strive for. And honestly, it's never going to be perfect. It could be good. It could be really fucking good. But perfection is just some standard that nobody can reach. And honestly, I think perfection would be boring.
Well, this is why I just have the 5-star hotel in my head.
There we go.
The closest I'm going to get right now.
But you know what? The fact of the matter is you have been at the 5-star hotel and you've enjoyed it, and you know that in the future you will enjoy it again.
That is true.
So,
preferably with less ghosts than usual.
I hope I get the room where the nun stands next to my bed. The ghost nun.
I'll loan you one of my extra vibrators just to respond to that with. Nuns get very confused by vibrators.
Whoa. I'm still traumatized.
That's it.
I'm still traumatized from having to pack up your room.
Oh, yeah.
And there's not a lot of things that scare me.
Apparently my sex life is terrifying to Nikki.
Okay, it was just who you were trying to have sex with.
Fair. Well, it wasn't Okay, yeah, it was all pretty bad.
No, okay, so the one,
Well, the partner that I still have.
well, yes, but the one person that was a train wreck eventually. Speaking of comic book characters, at least the sex was good there. That's not who I was traumatized by.
Well, no. Plus, he never stuck around enough to need toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Not wrong. Not wrong.
but it was the brain hemorrhage. That's what we're gonna call him from now on. Brain
Brain
hemorrhage.
hemorrhage.
Yes.
Okay, I think that works. Yeah.
Yeah. God, I love it when I do weird shit like that. I love it. I think that we are at the place now where we just need to.
We're just like, we need to go to bed because we're just getting progressively weirder.
We are, and though I love it, I know it's super late for you there.
It is, yeah.
I have the day off tomorrow and just need to spend a million years creating projects for Witchcon.
Same here. I have a full day ahead of mixing up our prototypes that we will have in our Witchcon vending, including materials to go with my invisibility class and a few other goodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we may have, I do not know for a fact yet, there is a possibility we'll have something from the Forge.
Ooh, yes.
There is a possibility, but we will need Nikki's help for that. So
that's a discussion. That's a discussion on the board.
Yep. And hopefully I will get some time to play some dirt tomorrow. Yes.
But I want to thank you guys for coming in tonight, for tuning in to us, listening to our weird, and I hope you embraced it.
Thank you so much for watching. We're always, we both are genuinely honored that anybody takes the time. So thank you.
Dude, it's been steady at 4 or more since we started, and that's never happened. So I'm kind of in awe about that. I think that that's awesome. You guys are badass.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us in our weird, like I said. And for people that get upset when I say that I'm weird or my family's weird, I embrace the word weird because I don't want to be normal. What the hell is normal?
I'd say read The Weird Sisters by Terry Pratchett because I'm basically 2 steps away from full and granny weatherwax anyway. Embrace your inner weird, normalize it. Normalize it. Oh, that's the last TikTok person I want to plug. It's Selena Spooky Boo. I think she's hilarious. She made a makeup palette that's it's like a poop palette. My favorite color name on there. No, it's not all browns. My favorite color name is Ass Goblins. That is our word of the week. Ass Goblins. Our phrase of the week. Ass Goblins. I'm not going to invoke that around here because it gets weird enough without daring the fae.
Well, I thought it was butt monkeys at first, and then I was like, no, it's Ass Goblins.
I almost got fired from. No, I didn't almost get fired.
I don't know which one it is, but it was fucking hilarious.
I really pissed off somebody on a newspaper staff when the editor-in-chief and I got really loopy and decided to give everyone titles involving butt weevils in the credits page.
Oh my God. I'm totally posting one of her links on Golden Apple tomorrow, the link where she shows that, because that is my favorite thing.
Okay, that does sound awesome.
Yeah, she is, she's funny as hell. She also sleepwalks, and she has cameras in her house, so they have a lot of video footage of her sleepwalking, which is also very hilarious. Please, if you're going to watch this, don't get offended because she owns it. She's trying to raise awareness about sleepwalking, and this is part of the reason why she does promote these. But she does know what will trigger an episode, and she may or may not eat that before bed to trigger an episode for some of these. And it's pretty fucking hilarious, but she's always safe. Her husband's always keeping an eye on her. So she's just funny as fuck. And I love her because she's intense makeup, intense hair all the time. And she's got a poop palette. Ass Goblins or Ass Gremlins. It's something, I think it's Ass Goblins because I thought it was Butt Gremlins, which is equally funny.
I mean, if I was going to create a series of things to mildly hex people with, Butt Gremlins would be the way to go.
Right. Oh my God, it's hysterical. Because and I don't care who you are, you've experienced a butt gremlin at least once in your life.
Okay, we need to go to bed. Good that, everyone. I'm calling it butt gremlins.
She's calling it butt gremlins. That'll be your word for the day. And if you work with me and you see me and you say butt gremlins to me, I will pee my pants on the sales floor. Most likely.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Love you guys. Oh, I did something weird. Okay. I love you guys. Thank
Night.
you. We
Peace
have been
out.
mostly left I've been left unsupervised. Diana has had the peanut gallery that we love. Cinti, we adore you. And don't give that sardonic look. Yes, we do.
Yep, that was a little bad too. All right.
Thanks for being with us. We'll hopefully see you in 2 weeks, and maybe we'll have some cool Witchcon stories.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully good ones.
All right. Peace out, bitches.
Yes.